After 7 years, they finally found her. On a quiet block near Poplar Street in Lochbuie, Colorado, police discovered human remains. Forensic testing confirmed the identity: Terri Ann Ackerman. The grandmother who vanished in 2018 was never far from home. The Weld County coroner identified her, but the cause and manner of death remain undisclosed. Detectives say the case is active. The wait is over for answers about where she is. The hardest questions are still unanswered. To understand what really happened to Terri Ackerman, we need to go back to the day she vanished.
Hello, and welcome back to Dark Crimes Real.
Terri Ann Ackerman was born on March 20th, 1962, in Zaragoza, Spain. At the time of her disappearance, she lived with her husband, Delbert Ackerman, at 130 Poplar Street in Lochbuie, Colorado. Friends described Terri as kind, quiet, and deeply devoted to her daughter, Amber Carolus, and her grandchildren. She spent much of her time caring for them, often watching the kids while Amber worked long 12-hour shifts as a 911 dispatcher. But beneath the surface, Terri's life was not peaceful. Those close to her said her marriage had become controlling and volatile. Dale often belittled her, especially when drinking. He made her feel small, helpless, and financially trapped. Terri suffered from bipolar disorder, but her family insisted she was stable as long as she took her prescribed medication. What truly affected her, they believed, was the constant tension at home. Months before she vanished, Terri had started planning a secret separation. With Amber's help, she opened a private bank account and began researching housing assistance for women leaving abusive marriages. She seemed determined, but also frightened. Her daughter recalled one moment that still haunts her.
She told me she was scared of Dale, and she was even more afraid of his son, Christopher.
Terri's fear was not without reason. Family members had noticed how arguments between her and Dale often escalated to shouting, sometimes echoing through the neighborhood. Once, Dale told her something that chilled everyone who later heard it.
"I wish you would have just died."
By late August 2018, Terri seemed emotionally exhausted. She told friends she wanted to move out and live temporarily with a friend, Geraldine Contreras, who had offered her a safe place. But she hesitated. A day before she disappeared, she told her daughter she couldn't go through with it. She said she still loved Dale. That night, Amber felt uneasy. It was the last conversation she would ever have with her mother. Next came a day that would change everything. It began as an ordinary Thursday. On August 23, 2018, Terri left her daughter Amber's house in the afternoon after spending time with her grandchildren. She seemed calm, almost cheerful, when she said goodbye. The drive home to Lochbuie took about 30 minutes. Around 4:30 p.m., she called Amber to confirm she had arrived safely. But a few hours later, something changed. Terri phoned again, this time in tears. She said she couldn't watch the kids the next day. Her voice was trembling, her tone full of confusion and fear. "I can't do it," she repeated, without explaining why. Amber tried to reassure her, assuming her mother was simply tired. They hung up, and that would be the last time Amber heard her mother's voice. The following morning, Friday, August 24th, the day began strangely. At 6 a.m., Amber's fiancé, Jesse Contreras, heard a knock on their door. Standing outside was Terri's husband, Delbert Ackerman. He said he came to babysit the children because Terri couldn't. This confused Jesse. He had already taken the day off to stay with the kids. Dale insisted on staying anyway. He waited outside in his truck for nearly an hour before finally coming inside. No one understood why. Dale remained at their home until late that morning, helping Jesse fix a fence. Around 11 a.m., he left to visit a marijuana dispensary, then returned briefly before driving home to Lochbuie. Later that evening, at 8 p.m., Dale called Amber. His voice was calm. He said Terri was missing. He claimed he had last seen her sleeping in bed at 5 a.m. before leaving the house that morning. When he returned, she was gone. Her phone, wallet, car keys, and cigarettes were all left behind. Her car was still parked in the driveway. Nothing inside the house suggested she planned to leave. But some details didn't add up. If Dale left home at 5 a.m. and drove 30 minutes to Amber's house, how did he spend the next hour sitting in his car outside? Why did he go to the police before calling the family? And why, when Amber rushed to her mother's house that night, were the trash bins completely empty, even though it wasn't pickup day? Inside, Amber noticed more oddities. Her mother's ashtray, normally full, held only one cigarette butt. Dale's white pickup truck, usually parked outside, was gone. When questioned, he said it was at a shop being repaired. But the same truck appeared in the driveway that evening, still covered in dents. When Amber confronted him, Dale's explanation shifted. He became defensive. His son, Christopher Ackerman, was there too. Both men fell silent when Amber entered the house. Christopher stood up and quietly slipped out the back door. The police searched the property, but found no signs of foul play. Dogs from the Rampart Search and Rescue Team picked up no scent. Terri's disappearance was officially classified as a missing person case, not a crime. And just like that, she was gone, without a trace. When the Lochbuie Police Department received the report, they treated Terri's disappearance as voluntary. Officers told her daughter it wasn't a crime for an adult to leave home. To them, she was simply another missing person who might return on her own. But Amber knew better. Her mother would never leave without a word, without her car, her phone, her cigarettes, or her purse. She pleaded with investigators to search again. They did, but only once. A canine team combed the property and the surrounding area. No scent, no trace. Frustrated, Amber turned to her own contacts for help. A friend from the Adams County Sheriff's Office arranged for Rampart Search and Rescue to conduct an independent operation. For weeks, volunteers walked through fields, creeks, and rural roads near Poplar Street. They found nothing. Meanwhile, Delbert Ackerman stayed home. He refused to join the searches. When Amber asked why, he replied, "The police are already out there looking." He lived only minutes from the station, but never followed up on the investigation. As months passed, his behavior drew even more suspicion. He took a polygraph test, but before doing so, he told Amber he knew how to lie and pass it. The results were never made public. His son Christopher was also asked to take one, but refused. Terri's friends described Dale as manipulative and verbally abusive. Her sister, Kimberly, flew to Colorado as soon as she heard the news. She noticed how much Terri had changed since marrying Dale. Quieter, withdrawn, afraid to speak openly. Then came another disturbing detail. A few months before Terri vanished, she had been found unconscious in her home and hospitalized. The cause was unclear. Later, during a heated argument, Dale told her, "I wish you had just died." After that, Terri began secretly preparing to leave him. Still, despite the tension, investigators said they lacked evidence of foul play. The official stance remained unchanged: missing, not murdered. As the years went on, the case grew cold. Leads faded, websites shut down, and even the small auto repair business Dale and Christopher ran in Parker quietly disappeared. Rumors circulated online. One review on their old website accused them of being involved in Terri's disappearance. It was deleted soon after. Amber never stopped searching. She contacted reporters, appeared on podcasts, and walked through open fields by herself, hoping for any sign of her mother. She said, "People don't just disappear. Someone did this to her." But without a body, there was no proof. For 7 long years, the case of Terri Ackerman remained an open wound, a mystery frozen in time. Until September 2025, when something changed. It was early September 2025 when a quiet neighborhood in Lochbuie, Colorado, became the center of attention once again. A call came in to the Weld County Sheriff's Office. Human remains had been found near Poplar Street and Willow Drive, not far from Terri Ackerman's old home. Investigators arrived, sealing off the area. Within days, the Weld County Coroner's Office confirmed the identity: Terri Ann Ackerman. After 7 years of questions, the woman who vanished had finally been found, less than half a mile from where she once lived. The cause and manner of death are still under investigation. Authorities have not released whether they consider the case a homicide, accident, or something else. Forensic experts continue to examine the remains, hoping to uncover what happened between that August morning in 2018 and the day her body was found. For Amber and her family, the discovery brought both relief and heartbreak. They finally knew where Terri was, but not what had been done to her. The Lochbuie Police Department has confirmed that the case remains active, and detectives are reviewing old evidence, interviews, and forensic material in light of the discovery. The search is over, but the mystery has only deepened. For 7 years, the name Terri Ann Ackerman lingered in missing person databases and on faded posters around Colorado. Now her body has been found, but her story remains unfinished. The discovery near Poplar Street raised more questions than it answered. How did she end up so close to her own home? Was she killed there or brought back later? And if foul play was involved, how did it go unnoticed for so long? Police say the investigation is ongoing. No arrests have been made. Neither Delbert Ackerman nor his son, Christopher, has been officially named as suspects. Both men remain silent. For Terri's daughter, Amber, the years of waiting have taken their toll. She once said, "She didn't disappear. Someone did this to her." Now that her mother's remains have been recovered, Amber is more determined than ever to seek justice, even if it takes the rest of her life. The case of Terri Ackerman stands as a haunting reminder of how fragile the truth can be. It waited beneath the surface for years, buried just steps away from the life she once knew. And while her story has resurfaced, the answers still remain in the dark. Until today, no one truly knows what happened to Terri Ann Ackerman. Some secrets, it seems, never surface. Please note that some images and footage used in this video are for illustrative purposes only and are not intended to represent any real individuals or organizations. This story is presented to update viewers on the ongoing case of Terri Ann Ackerman, with the hope that the truth will one day be revealed. If any information is found to be inaccurate or incomplete, please contact us so we can make the necessary corrections. Thank you for your understanding.